All right, looking at a 2012 Nissan Altima. He said it's making a grinding or like a humming noise above 30 or 40. And then when he called me the other day, and then when he got here today, he said it's under 30 now. It's getting really loud. Sounds like it's coming from the passenger side. That to me sounds like a wheel bearing. I took it around the block real quick, and it sounded like a wheel bearing to me too. So we're gonna just jack it up on the right side, see if there's any play in that wheel bearing, or if we can hear the noise, and then we'll go ahead and replace it. All right, so I went and took the wheel off. I got the wheel turned to the left here, so I can get to the brake stuff. I'm gonna rip that stuff off real quick. I'm gonna take this axle nut off real fast. Trying to see, it's been a while since I've used this tool. Yeah, that's what I thought. So this is a 32 millimeter nut. It's gonna make some noise, so cover your ears. That's unfortunate. Try to do this with one hand. Let me make sure the air compressor's on, all that good stuff, and we'll come back. All right, so I was going the wrong way. It's been a while. This is actually one of my favorite tools, is the Earthquake XT, the stubby, and kind of got away from using air tools for a while, just using electric, but I like the compactness of this. I know Milwaukee has one. I actually have one, but this one actually works better than Milwaukee in my opinion. So anyway, I had it going the wrong way, but... And I'm just going to kind of push in on this axle a little, see if it's loose. I think I might have put axles in this recently. I don't know. I've done a lot of work to this car lately, and they're stuck in there. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back on and tap on it a little bit. But until then, we'll get the stuff here. We're going to take this caliper off and this bracket and the rotor, and that'll get us down to where we need to get to with this wheel bearing. So, and this does have the ABS. It's going to ask you when you go to get the part if it's a four-wheel ABS or not. And I think 2012 on up, they all pretty much are, but they do sell it without the ABS. This car has the ABS sensor going to it, so it does have ABS. So make sure you get the right bearing when you go get it. It's about, at least in my O'Reilly's, it's about a $20 or $40 difference, something like that. So there is a difference in price. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get this stuff set up, and then we'll come right back. Oh, we got 14 on this caliper. Hopefully it doesn't spin on the inside, which it didn't on this one. Then you got one down here. Those are 14. And then it's the only bad thing about using the airs. My hoses always leak no matter what I do, and no matter which hose I get, seems like. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this off. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to put a screwdriver in and kind of open up the caliper a little bit so that it's easier to go back on. And I have a hook here that I'm going to put on it. I'm trying to do this one-handed, so bear with me. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this off. And we're going to set this off to the side on the strut here so that it's out of the way. And then we got the brake pads here. I'm going to try to leave those on. They might bounce off when I put the impact. We're going to take this caliper mount off. And this should be a 22 mil. I can get on there. Hold on a second. Let me get on there real quick. It's kind of hard to do one-handed. I can't find my little, there we go. Couldn't find my little tripod. Okay, these are super tight, so I might have to get the Milwaukee out for this. Let me go find the Milwaukee real quick. All right, well, I lied. I actually got it off. Just got to hammer on it a little bit. Let's try this one, see if this bottom one comes off. That's why I like this tool. It's pretty, usually you don't have to hammer on it that hard, but I did have to hammer on the top one pretty good. Let me see. Oh, it's making me a liar. There we go. So just, they are tight, but they did come off, so that's good for the Earthquake, I guess. I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but I do like that tool. I highly recommend, if you got air, the Earthquake XT stubby. I love it. So anyway, we'll take that off. We'll try to keep these brake pads in order, and then we'll pull this rotor off, and we'll be down to where we need to be almost. Once you move your caliper bracket out of the way, you got your rotor. Just pull your rotor off. The Nissan doesn't have any of the little screws like Honda and some of the other foreign people do. And then you got these 4 17mm bolts, and all I got in here is just an extension with a couple with a 17mm socket, and we're just going to go in there and hopefully just loosen these right up. These shouldn't be too tight. I mean, they're going to be tight, but they shouldn't be anything major. And you can see there, it just came right out. So we're just going to do that to all 4 bolts. They're basically a square pattern. Got one here, and then 2 on the bottom. And your socket will slip right around the axle. Just make sure your axle's loose and kind of pushed out a little bit, and you should be good. And then we'll go ahead and get this off. So I'm going to go ahead and take those other 4 out real quick, or other 3 out real quick, and then we'll get this hub off. All right, so I got all 4 bolts out, but I almost jumped the shark, or whatever that saying is. I think it's jump the shark. I don't know how you jump a shark, but you got to get this ABS sensor out so you don't screw it up when you're trying to get this out. And it's a 10mm, and we're just going to go ahead and take that 10mm bolt out and then work that sensor back and forth till it comes out. Hopefully it's not rusted in. If you work on cars, you know that happens quite often, but we're hoping this one doesn't. And then we'll get that out. That way we won't damage it anyway when we take this out. So before you start beating on this or doing whatever you're going to do with this, make sure you take the ABS sensor out. So it's one 10mm bolt, and then it should come out. It should slide out technically. If it doesn't, work it back and forth slowly until you can get it to come out, and hopefully it does. I have really bad luck on Hondas with that. Older Hondas, they seem like they all break off in there or snap off. Hopefully this one doesn't. One literally just slid right out, so that's really good. I'm just going to kind of tuck it over here safely, keep it out of the way, and keep from getting damaged. But I got lucky, and I feel like every time those come out nowadays, I get lucky, because it seems like the last however many I've done seem like they want to break off or super hard to get out. So anyway, take the nut off, and now there's a couple ways you can do this. I don't know how long this has been on here. It actually doesn't look like it's that new, like that old, but it's definitely making a lot of noise. You can beat these off. A lot of times I use the Chief and work it back and forth. And like, again, I'm not sponsored by them, but I do like the Chief. So anyway, I'm going to just try to hit this a couple times and see what it does. And if it doesn't want to come off, then we'll use more persuasion. You kind of want to hit on those ears if you can. Alright. It's not moving yet. I think I'm just going to go ahead and get the Chief out and make short work of it. Alright, so I got it loose. This is how I did. I used the Chief. I'm a real big proponent of the Chief. It's from Harbor Freight. Like I said, they're not sponsored by me, or they don't sponsor me or anything, but I do use some of their tools quite a bit. I have I'm not a Harbor Freight only guy. I have a lot of Snap-on and Mako and Craftsman and everything, but I do use the Chief and these 2 air tools quite a bit. I like both of them. But anyway, I got it loose. What I do is I start here and I hit this ear, then come back and hit this ear, and then it just breaks it loose. And if you don't have air or access to air or air hammer or something like that, just take a chisel or something, or a punch, and take a hammer, and you can hit back and forth. Now, I mean, this actually does not seem like this is that old, this particular wheel bearing. And I don't know, I haven't changed it, but it doesn't look like it's super old. So I don't know if this is like a Rock Auto Special or what kind of bearing this is, but sometimes if these are factory, they've been on here a long time, they can be a real bear to get off. And like, especially like, I don't know, I've had a lot of trouble with like the Ford Fusions and Focus and stuff. The older, like the newer ones, man, they just weld themselves on there. Well, it's aluminum to steel, and it just welds itself, just like everything else, the wheels and everything else. But so far I've been lucky with the Chief. Like I said, we're not in the Rust Belt. I mean, it is rusty here. The cars do get rusty, but not as bad as up north. But if you're in a decent climate, they should come off. But if they don't, then you're gonna, you know, they do sell tools, special tools you can use to get them off, whatever. But normally, under most circumstances, you should be able to beat them off. And I don't mean that. That came off kind of wrong. But anyway, just get something here on these ears and just beat them back and forth until they come out. It should break loose. So hopefully yours does. I have had some that were pretty. I had actually had an Impala where I had to actually cut the axle because it was just seized in there so bad, and that was a nightmare. So anyway, hopefully yours doesn't do that. And now we're gonna take this off and go get the new. I haven't got the new one yet, so I gotta go get that real quick. And then we're gonna have to clean up. This area here is a lot of corrosion stuff back here, so I'm gonna get the little whizzy wheel I got and clean that up real quick, and then we'll get back on this. There is quite a bit of rust back here, so maybe this isn't as new as it looks. It just to me, it doesn't seem like it's that old, but I don't know. I know I put little control arms on this car in a rack, but I have not put wheel bearings on, so who knows. But anyway, let me get this off, and then we'll clean that up, and then we'll put the new one on. All right, again, now that I got it off, you can see there's a ton of rust back here, a ton of rust in here. And I'm sure that's picking it up. That's a pretty good grinding noise coming out of here. There's a lot of rust and stuff. So we'll go ahead and clean this all up, and then we'll go ahead and replace this thing. And anyway, so I just wanted to show you all that rust and the noise it's making. Should not be making that noise. We'll get the new one and get this thing going. All right, so I went ahead and cleaned all that up. I'm just going to go ahead and slide this back in there. You got your shield. It's going to go on first, and then we're going to put this bearing on and start all the bolts. When you put the bearing on, make sure you start all the bolts at least 3 or 4 threads before you tighten down one. Otherwise, you'll have a good chance of not getting them all started, and you have to loosen it back up again. And this car does have this is the SL version, V6. It's got 4-wheel ABS. I went and got the 4-wheel ABS, and it did not fit the bearing. It was a 29 spline, and they showed that the ABS, non-ABS, has a 32 spline, which is that one. Got back here, the 29 spline didn't work, so it's obviously a 32 spline. So I don't know what the deal is with that. If it's just a weird thing with O'Reilly's or whatever, but this was a 32 spline, and they look the same. They have that. They both have the ring on it for the ABS to read, so I don't know what the difference is. I think it's just some kind of maybe something in O'Reilly's that's a little off. I'm not sure, but anyway, you probably have a 32 spline if you get that question when you go somewhere to get the part. At O'Reilly's, it was difference between 29 and 32, but it said 29 was only 4-wheel ABS, and that's not right because this does have 4-wheel ABS. I checked the back, so anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and start all those bolts and we'll get them tightened up. All right, once you got the shield back on and this all 4 started pretty well, and make sure this is in the hub itself and the axle's through, obviously. Go ahead and torque them down. Now we're just gonna put the rotor on and slide the brake, the caliper bracket back on. So we're almost there. You just slide your rotor back on, put your bracket on, make sure your brake pads are up against the rotor, and then we're just gonna go ahead and run these through. Now we're just going to put the caliper back on and the axle nut, and I believe that's 130 foot-pounds. You might have to double check it, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is, 130 foot-pound for the axle nut. And then you just put the wheel back together. That's pretty much it. It's a pretty simple one. The only thing you might have trouble with is if it's rusted onto the inside the hub. That could be a real pain depending on the car, where you live, and just whatever. But that should be the only thing you really get hung up on. So anyway, that's about it for this one. We're just going to put this back together. The rest of the way, all it is the caliper and then the wheel and the axle nut. So I believe that's 130 foot-pound. So thanks for watching. As always, God bless.